What's up guys, welcome to the channel. My name is Liam and in today's video we will be talking about how to use a lifting belt. So this video is upon the request of Johan Johnson, and he asked could I make a video when I put on the belt. So I assume that you want to ask how to use a belt. So Johan, if you are watching this video, this is your video and let's get started. So the first thing you have to know when you first got a belt is the position of the belt. So a general rule is that you want the belt to be right over your belly button, and the position might be different depending on what exercise you are doing. Like for me, for example, when I am bench pressing, I like the belt to be slightly higher so I can arch even more. And for squats and deadlift, I like the belt to be right over my belly button so it can provide me a constant tension. I know it's pretty tough at first for you to find the perfect position for the belt, but just give yourself some time, experiment yourself with a different position, and after some time, you will find the perfect position. You will find the sweet spot for your belt. Now, the second thing that you have to do is to determine the tightness of your belt, how tight you want your belt to be. And at this point, it's very important because you don't want it to be too loose that it can move around your midsection and lose the tension. And you don't want it to be too tight where you cannot even breathe in the belt and cause you to not be able to brace properly. You want the belt to be right in the middle. You want the belt to have a little space that you can breathe in and push your abs toward the belt to create a constant tension. And it's like the position, it's pretty hard to catch, but after some time you will find the perfect position and you will get used to the belt. Now, after you have found the perfect position and tightness for your belt, it's time to learn how to breathe and brace with the belt. So it's very easy, so just remember that you have to breathe a huge amount of air through your mouth into your stomach and push your stomach out. Push your abs out towards the belt, and if you don't have abs like me, just push your belly out towards the belt to create a constant tension and to create a much more stabilized core. Now you have learned how to use a belt. Now I'm going to talk about some do's and don'ts when you are using a lifting belt or any type of equipment out there. So the first thing is that there is no specific strength requirement or time frame that you have to put on a belt. So stop asking the question, I have been lifting for X amount of years, I have been lifting X amount of weights. When should I start using a belt? Should I start using a belt right now? Because there is no specific level or time frame for you to start using a belt, using wrist straps, using knee sleeves, and it's all based on personal preference. If you like to use a belt right now, use it. If you like to wait for a few years when you have developed much more strength, then you'll start using equipment. Just wait for that perfect timing. But however, there is a very important point for beginners or novice lifters. If you have been lifting for the first 4 to 5 months or even a year, don't use a belt. Your body needs to learn how to brace, how to stabilize itself without the help of a belt. If you first start out with a belt and you don't even learn how to brace and breathe properly throughout the whole movement, your body will get weaker and weaker over time, and if you don't have a belt with you, you might not be able to lift the certain amount of weight. So for beginners, don't ever use a belt when you have finally mastered the technique to breathe and brace yourself and start to learn how to create tension without using a belt. Now the second point is that don't use a belt all the time. You don't have to put on the belt throughout your whole workout. I only use a belt when I am squatting, bench pressing, deadlifting, and overhead pressing, and I only use a belt for my working sets and my back off sets. So for my warm-ups, I don't use a belt. For bicep curls, for tricep extensions, for military presses, I don't use a belt. I only use a belt for my working sets and the few sets that I have left after my working sets where I use less weight and I do more reps. So that's all guys, a quick recap. So first thing is find the perfect position for your belt. It's right over your belly button, and find your perfect tightness for your belt. Don't get too tight, don't get too loose. Experiment with different kinds of tightness and position. And 3 is learn how to breathe and brace. Draw a huge amount of air into your body, into your belly, and push your belly out towards the belt. And don't use a belt if you are a beginner. There's no specific time frame or strength level requirements if you want to use a belt right after if you are not a beginner. And the 5th point is don't use a belt all the time, only use it when you need it. So that's all for this video guys. Hope you guys like this video. If you guys find this video interesting, please hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't, and if you have any questions you want to ask, comment down below, and I will see all of you guys in my next videos. Peace.
If you won't give it to me, I'ma take it.